she was trying to mold me into what she wanted me to be. And she would do anything to get those results. It felt like she didn't want me to be her son anymore, that she kept trying to change me. That was her main goal, is she didn't want me to be this way, and she wouldn't accept me for being this way. And she said multiple times that she wouldn't accept it in her house. And it really felt like she was just cutting me off. Like that I didn't, that I hadn't changed that much. I was still her son, but it was like she didn't see it that way anymore.
All I knew when I was 13 was that I could not live where I was. I could not live under the situation I was in. And that was my biggest goal, was just to get away from that. I didn't care how much worse or where I went from there. And I ended up in some pretty interesting places for that, but the idea was just to get away from the situation I was in. And I didn't think it could get worse, but I was wrong.
It's the New Street people that you have to worry about, because they haven't really experienced anything bad yet. They're excited about being on the street, and they can be dangerous. After they have a few bad things happen to them and they go hungry a few times and they learn how to prostitute and eat out of dumpsters, it kind of calms them down, it changes them.
Man, I would like crash at people's houses, sleep outside, rent a motel room, or like buddy up with like a group of kids that were running away. Man, I just slept on the streets, I don't know, dozens of times, I don't know, a lot, because anywhere like that was warm, behind a sign, behind something, on top of those little heaters, the little electric heaters. Yeah, I used to sleep on top of those, behind stores, behind, like a Jiffy Lube sign, because, they have like the lights inside, stay on all night, sleep behind those. Slept on the streets a lot.
We have to look at queer homeless issues. We have to look at classism and racism in the queer community. It's not an agenda item that we can file until, 3 months from now. It's today.
We should be finding better ways to educate the general public about homeless and street kids. More people should be involved in this. If this was a virus or some disease that we were losing 13 children every day, doctors and scientists would be looking at this. Well, we need those same doctors and scientists looking at why our children are leaving home and dying on the streets. We say silly things, we say things like, this is one of the kids who fell through the crack. And then I would submit to you, 1.3 million children fell through this crack. Well, what are we doing about fixing it? What are we doing about repairing it? And yet when we say that, we say it like, oh yeah, well, that's okay then. That always amazes me when I hear someone say, well, this is one of those kids who fell through the crack. Because it's like, and we're not going to do anything else now. That's the end of that. That's okay. We have to stand up and start saying, it isn't okay. We can fix this crack. All of us can, together.
Doesn't your heart beat the same as mine? Haven't I told you 1,000 times? And isn't the air in my lungs the same air you breathe? So who cares whose arms I'm all wrapped up in? Who cares whose eyes I see myself in? Who cares who I dream of? Who cares who I love? Doesn't my mother cry like everyone? My father grieves